Hi everybody, it's Brad Mason, Pioneer Agronomist here in Western Illinois. Wanted to take a quick second and talk through some of the things that I'm seeing in our soybean crop across the area. It's currently June 13th, and the field that I'm standing in is off to a tremendous start, and a lot of our soybean fields are in the area. Some of us got rain over the weekend. We were lucky enough for that, and I've really noticed over the last couple of days the soybean crop has really taken off. We're starting to close some canopies. I'm in a 15-inch row field here, and as you can see, most of the crop is pretty well canopied behind us, which is great because we want to capture as much sunlight for as long as we possibly can, and closing that canopy will also help us with our weed pressure through the season. But one of the main watchouts I want to talk about is this soybean field that I'm in was planted May 1st, May 2nd. With that being said, we've always gone off the notion of June 21st or the summer solstice is when these soybean plants will be flowering or blooming. This plant that I'm holding actually has 3 blooms that are open, and most of this crop that I've walked through has anywhere from 1 to 2 blooms anywhere on the stems. So we are at R1. With that being said, we need to make sure we're checking that because there were a lot of soybeans that were planted early, and with that often comes earlier flowering. And a lot of people have asked, where's that extra yield potential come when we're planting early? Are we putting stress on that bean and that's what causes the yield increase? I believe that what we're actually doing is we're forcing this bean to flower earlier than we normally expect of that June 21st time frame. I've heard reports of early as June 1st to June 5th for some of our soybean plants to be flowering. What we forced this plant to do by flowering early is for it to be in the reproductive stages longer, from R1 to R6. This plant is now not just focusing here for the next week until we hit June 21st on vegetative growth, it's also focusing on reproductive growth. And that has a great effect on our yield potential because we're now putting this plant in reproductive stages longer. And that's oftentimes where we see this added advantage of planting early. We're just basically making this plant reproduce for longer, which is where we have some major benefits. One of the things I want to warn you of though is that because we've always said June 21st is when our soybean crop is going to flower, we need to make sure we're doing our due diligence and checking our fields before we spray. There's still a lot of post applications that need to go out on soybeans in the area. So we need to make sure we're walking through the crop to make sure it's at R1 or before, because there are some labels that don't enable you to spray on R1 crops. So we need to make sure we're on label with our applications. That can hinder possibly the performance of this crop in the fall if we're not making sure we're paying attention to what stage our crop is in. Overall, the crop looks really good. I'm excited to see where it turns out and see how these early planted soybeans look at the end of the year. Thanks for watching.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.